From a tongue-biting contest to an orgy in the sewers to, yes, a giant space turtle, there were all too many reasons why the ending of the It movies needed to be changed. Director Andy Muschietti's adaptation of Stephen King's It was hugely successful and made a massive pop culture impact, largely because the filmmaker and screenwriters stayed as true to the source material as they could.
Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat.
But even with that mindset, there are massive, sweeping changes to update the story, most notably the time period the two theatrical films take place in. In the book, the kid's story takes place in the late 50s, and the adult story takes place in the 80s. In the movies, they set the Losers Club's first encounter with Pennywise in the 1980s, with the adults returning in the 20-teens. A book could be written on all the changes and why they were made. But let's focus on the ending. There are three big things about the end of Stephen King's book that have never been realized in any of the adaptations.
Take your pick, Billy boy.
We'll start with the one thing from the book that everybody always talks about, and that's the sex scene. After the Losers Club defeats Pennywise for the first time, they get lost in the sewer and can't find their way out. Their solution is a head-scratcher, in that it involves every member of the Losers Club, and this is really in the book, having sex with Beverly. When this act is done, their bond is complete, a suppressing shadow is lifted, and they're able to find their way out of the sewer and step out into the real world and their adulthood. It's disgusting to imagine, but for decades, that's exactly what readers of the book have had to do. King has defended this moment multiple times over the years, acknowledging that sensitivity to adolescent sexuality is much stronger today than when he first wrote the book. He also says he didn't even consider the sexual aspect of the scene beyond that it solidifies the book's theme of moving from childhood to adulthood. Writing to that theme is one thing, but asking 7 child actors to bring that moment to life, let alone asking an audience to watch it, is not an option. In the movie It Chapter 1, this moment of bonding, solidifying the character's ability to remember enough in their adulthood to come back and finally put an end to the evil clown, is changed to a simple blood oath.
I swear, if it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back too.
A major component of the showdown between the Losers Club and the transdimensional alien creature that likes to pose as an evil clown is called the Ritual of Chud, which is a kind of psychic battle of wills. This aspect is totally ignored in the 1990 miniseries and is handled with a sort of sideways approach in It Chapter 2. The novel has a whole psychedelic sub-story that lays the foundation for the Ritual of Chud, including the reveal that a giant cosmic turtle is guiding the Losers Club in their battle against Pennywise. Again, this is really in the book. The ritual itself sees Bill taking a mind journey to meet up with Pennywise, where they stick their tongues in each other's mouths and bite down. The first to let go loses. Weird, right? The only piece of advice this preteen kid has going into this mind fight is from Maturin, the benevolent floating space turtle, who says, "Once you get into cosmological like this, you got to throw away the instruction manual." In the movie, the filmmakers reimagine this trippy encounter as a Native American ritual involving a drum and some gold light, which, sure, why not? It all leads to the same place in the end. The only way to fight Pennywise is to not be afraid of him, whether that means standing together as a group around a glowing drum or to metaphorically bite its tongue and not let go. Fear is what it feeds on, and if you take that out of the equation, you take away its power.
That's why you didn't kill Beverly. Because she wasn't afraid. And we aren't either.
Pennywise takes many forms over the course of the story, and the entity's final form is that of a spider. Now, this isn't exactly what it looks like. In the text, King makes it clear that this is the closest thing to its true face that the human mind can take without breaking. In the miniseries, we get a janky practical effect of a large alien spider, and in the Muschietti film, it's a CGI giant Pennywise with spider legs. In this case, the miniseries hews closer to the book, but both leave out a fascinating element. It is a she, and she is about to have a bunch of babies. Defeating the giant spider isn't the end of the fight in the book. The surviving members of the Losers Club also have to squash all the spider eggs, each one containing a possible new it that will continue to feed on the residents of Derry and beyond. Considering that this could have led to a sequel, it's surprising that Warner Brothers didn't insist on including this detail in It Chapter 2. Say the losers stomped on the eggs and think they got them all, but the audience sees one final egg left behind. It hatches during the post-credits scene, and blammo, the door is open for a sequel. That is a lot to try to fit into the finale of a billion-dollar franchise, but it remains one of many fascinating moments from the book that never made the cut in any adaptation.